Government of Canada has recently announced changes in the eligibility criteria for spousal open work permits for temporary foreign workers and international students. In this video, we are going to talk about SOWP criteria for international students. Before we get started, my name is Madhur Parashar. I'm a licensed Canadian immigration consultant. My contact information is on this video. If you need help with your immigration applications, reach out for our paid immigration services and paid consultations. Now let's get started with the video. So a couple of days ago, the government announced SOWP criteria changes for foreign workers and international students. In my previous video, I have covered the criteria for foreign workers in detail. So please go and watch that video as well. If you are an international student, the SOWP criteria is different. So let's get into that. So spouses of international students will be eligible for SOWP only if the international student is pursuing three types of courses. Number one, master's degree course of 16 months or longer. So that's essentially a 2 years master's degree. So 1 year master's degree will not count. It has to be a 16-month or longer program. Number two, doctoral program or PhD. And number three, it says certain specialized courses or professional programs. Now, it is this third category where there is a lot of confusion. What are these certain specialized courses and professional programs? So this is where a lot of confusion is coming in. Remember one thing very clearly. This list of specialized courses and professional programs is not the same as the list of 966 courses that was released earlier for PGWP eligibility. This is a different list. So if you recall, earlier the PGWP eligibility criteria was changed. There they said that if you're studying a diploma or non-university, non-bachelor's, non-master's course, then your course has to be in a list of 966, now 989 programs. Only then you get a PGWP. This SOWP list is not that list. A lot of people are getting confused and thinking they are eligible for SOWP because their course is on that list. This is a separate list. This list consists of a bunch of professional degrees, meaning things like nursing, Bachelor of Nursing, dentistry, doctors, JD, which is a Bachelor's of Law, and so on. So there is a very small list of about 10 or 15 professional degree courses. Those are eligible for, those fall under the professional courses and the specialized courses. Also, there was recently a pilot program called Francophone Communities Pilot Program launched, which was welcoming French speakers from certain countries into certain communities of Canada. So those people are also included. So that comprises the list of specialized and professional programs. If you're in these three types of programs, only then your spouse can apply for an SOWP after January 21st. Very important to remember, before January 21st, the old rules for SOWP apply. So you don't have to be in these three programs only in order to get an SOWP. So if you're a student, if you're the spouse of a student whose eligibility is going to go away after the 21st January, then apply as soon as possible within the next 4 or 5 days. Now let's talk about SOWP extension. Again, a lot of confusion is happening here, so I'll clarify some things. So if you are the spouse of an international student, okay, and the international student needs more time to complete their studies. So if the international student got a study permit until a certain date, but their course is lasting longer than that, so they're applying for a study permit extension, then their spouse can apply to extend their study permit. So, and the extension of their study permit will be valid until the end of that, the international student's course ending date. However, very important thing to note, SOWP extension has to be under the same conditions as the original SOWP. So what this means is that, for example, if the international student graduates and now they're applying for a PGWP, and and the spouse who was on SOWP as a student spouse now wants to extend their SOWP as the spouse of a PGWP holder. So in this example, the underlying condition of the SOWP has changed. Originally, the SOWP was based on the condition of spouse of a student. Now it's going to the underlying condition as the spouse of a worker. So this is, in this case, after January 21st, the spouse will be eligible for a spousal work permit based on the conditions that apply to a worker. And those conditions happen to be tier 0, tier 1, and a shortage occupation job. So if the international student graduates and applies for a PGWP, then the spouse SOWP from the student days cannot be directly extended. It can only be extended if the PGWP holder has a job in tier 0, tier 1, or shortage occupation. I hope that clarifies the confusion around SOWPs for spouses of students. The most important part is that this is applicable from January 21st onwards. Today is January 16th. So you have 5 more days to submit your SOWPs as soon as possible if you're going to be impacted by these changes. So act fast. My name is Madhur Parashar. My contact information is right here. If you need help with your immigration application, spousal open work permits, my contact information is here. Feel free to reach out for our paid immigration services and our paid consultations.